Hi everyone and welcome back to Drawing with JoJo. This is the third installment. Today I think I want to draw a female swordsman or some kind of like paladin. So I want to start off with something, maybe some techniques to remember when drawing. Right here I'm gonna start talking about the plumb line. Or the center of balance. Basically, a character, if you push too much of your body over to one side, you're gonna fall over, right? So this is where I'm trying to explain, when people move their body, if you're kicking one leg forward, you'll probably put an arm back. So you have 4 limbs, and using those 4 limbs plus your head, you can balance by counterbalancing the opposite side. So right here you can see that I'm showing you kind of like how somebody would stand on one leg. You'd probably put one leg dead center of your balance, and then from there you'd spread yourself out. This would keep everything nice and equal weights across your whole body to allow you to stand on your leg. Otherwise you'd fall over and look just like the next character I'm drawing. So just remember that, guys. Basically, always think of that when you're trying to draw a character. Plot your center of balance and try to move your body around where it makes sense, where it counterbalances other parts of the body. Now I'm talking about how walking uses this idea. When you walk, it's a manner of falling and catching yourself with your legs. If you pay attention to how you walk, you're kind of leaning forward, and if that leg never came through, you'd just fall over. So basically, I was trying to draw that right now. I think I had to sharpen my pencil at this point. So always remember balance whenever you're drawing. It's definitely gonna help your drawings come to life and pop. Okay, then right here, this next one, I'm gonna talk about, I think, counterweights when posing your character. Oh, I dropped my pencil there. What am I gonna write here? Right here, I'm talking about more walking and how to catch yourself. This is exactly what I explained before. Otherwise, you see, if I remove that leg, it'd fall over. Boom. So let's keep that in mind. I'm trying to think of another thing that would be important to tell you guys when it comes to balance. Well, if it comes up, I'll share it. Right here, I'm gonna start drawing something. I draw usually sometimes an X. Sometimes I draw an X on the floor to kind of show where the floor is, and then I draw like a zone of where my character might be. And then once I kind of plot out the zone and where the floor is, I'll go and do my gesture line. You see right here my gesture. I keep talking about it through all the videos. This is the direction of everything is kind of going. And then on that gesture line, I'll draw my rib cage, my skull. There you go, rib cage. Sorry for any misspelled words. Here we go. Talking about the head, and right here I couldn't think of what this was. It's the pelvis. I said hip, but it's actually the pelvis. Your major femur bone connects into the pelvis, and you see right here, I'm like, what was it called again? Oh yeah. And it's funny, the pelvis is actually interesting. The pelvis and the rib cage, they're kind of like the main pieces. And then between that, think of it like if you draw 2 lines between it, it's your torso, where your stomach, your love handles go and everything. So always remember that. Next time I'll draw a picture of it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Now I kicked out the legs and kind of sat them down on and planted them on that X. See the leg that's closest to the camera looks closer, of course, and the leg in the back is pushed back. So that way it can show you that he's standing in 3D space, or she's standing in 3D space. But this is just a rough drawing. I'm trying to get out the pose, trying to figure out exactly where am I gonna go with this character, what kind of pose. I was thinking maybe just I'm probably gonna just do a standard pose. I drew a more dynamic character in the process of all this, but I wanted something a little bit easier. Okay, so right here I'm talking about how boring a character would be if they were just standing still, and I'm gonna go into basically I gotta stop using that word. I don't mind it. So when you draw a character, you want him or her to be dynamic, and one of the ways we make our characters dynamic It's by shifting the pelvis and the rib cage and the head and counter positions. So you're gonna see right now. It's sort of like a good example of this is a model. A model will kick down their hip and pick up their shoulder, and you get this nice, like, I don't know, stepping. There you go, right there. See, that's the pelvis and that's the bottom of the rib cage. That's where the stomach would go, and that's the underwear. And then you can see that it's starting to look like a model. They tend to exaggerate these poses in order for you to it's more pleasing to the eye and more sassy. So there you go. Boom, boom. Hi, everybody. Even cartoon characters do it. Everybody do. I mean, any comic book artist, you're always trying to, when they draw, they try to keep this in mind. Boom, boom, boom. Rather than just a straight stick character. I mean, look at that. That's what I'm saying. This is very bland type of structure. I mean, it has its place where you want to do it. Maybe there's a funeral. You don't want nobody standing like that guy or that girl. You want them to be a little bit more like reserved and a little bit more stiff. Right here, I start trying to get an idea of how it'd be fighting. I do quick little thumbnails. Like, is she fighting like this? Is she holding the sword like that? Kind of like that pose. So I start trying to figure out exactly what it would look like from the front. Let's see, or from a 3/4 view to the left, to the right. Sorry, and then right here, kind of looking up, maybe putting the shield up. So this is what you got to do in order to feel out the pose. Right here, I keep working on it. I'm like, I'm liking this. This would be cool. And as you can see, I'm blocking out the body, just a square head, and the underwear that I keep talking about. And someone told me about that the red is a little light, so my brother actually told me it's a little too bright light to see, so I'm gonna put a filter on this. So hopefully you guys are seeing it with the new filter, that way it can show more contrast. This is another interesting pose I kind of like. It's kind of floating in the air. I really like this pose, but I thought I was gonna get too crazy. Maybe next time I'll bring it up and use another character. So this way you can see, like, it's almost like she's floating up, or maybe sliding down a path like full of slime, and she's fighting demons as she's sliding down. That maybe oh, what the heck's going on? But I'm like, oh, okay, let's try to keep it simple. So I'll probably get back to that pose another day. I liked it. Quickly, just trying to get that feeling out. I'm not liking so far what I'm drawing, and right here I start liking this part right here. You can see it has a lot of attitude. The legs are kicked back, kind of like she's proud and confident. That's when you see the chest sticking out like that, it means that they're very proud and confident. Usually someone who's sad or depressed, they kind of push in or kind of hunch their shoulders. They don't want to talk to nobody. They kind of collapse in on themselves. So body language is very important. Right here, I'm building the arms, the biceps. I planted her feet down. I'm gonna start working on the rib cage. You'll see me do another variation of this. This is very dead on. I mean, there you go. I'm like, okay, I kind of like where this is, but something was wrong with it. I couldn't figure it out. I don't know. So I just started doing it again. I mean, it doesn't cost me anything. So I like the other one because in the beginning I keep it a little bit more realistic to the perspective, I think, and I kind of lose it when I put the armor. But at least you get to see. So now I'm trying to, like, I'll take that iteration and make a new iteration. So this is sort of like the camera's looking down, looking up at the character. Remember I said in the last videos, if you move a camera down and look at your character in an upward fashion, they have a lot more power. So you can already tell right there, like, it looks like, wow, this person's a lot more powerful because of that angle. So I started trying to draw within that angle. Hopefully I didn't lose it. I'm kind of rusty with this stuff. I think I did, but whatever. Okay, so I started drawing the underwear. Boom, boom, boom. So there's a paladin, a woman paladin. Dropping that down. So the muscles, it takes a while to understand muscles. You really have to draw a lot of them in different angles. Characters, you start realizing where the bicep meets the forearm, and how, like I said, it compresses, or how it looks in 3D space. Right here, doing her knees, adding the ears, and then there's another thing, how to make her look feminine. Usually feminine qualities, they have a rounder face, maybe not so, I mean, there's always exception to the rules. There's ladies with really strong cheekbones, or I mean, really strong. Sorry, what is it called? Jaw lines, and they still look feminine. I think it's a combination of the majority of things. So I'm definitely adding a rounder face. I'm gonna put eyelashes to really like drive that idea home. There you go. See, it's starting to look more feminine. Hair always helps too. Boom, boom. Adding the fist. Right now, I'm trying to figure out how to. As I'm drawing this, I'm trying to figure out how am I gonna do the shield. So the boom, boom. Okay, then I'm adding armor right here. Those big old pads on their shoulders. That's nice little pieces of armor. That's how you can tell. Then I'm like, okay, we need reference. So I'm starting to pick and choose from pieces of reference that I find on Google, kind of like that. You know what? I kind of got inspired a little bit by Captain Marvel with the neck. I saw that right away, like probably like a couple more minutes in, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta change it a bit. So, I mean, it looked great. It's just I try to be a little bit more original than what's going on in the current the spirit of the times. But it works. It looks great. It's fine. Okay, I just jumped to the basically a finished, not a little bit more worked out character here, and I'm starting to look at what to put on the shield. So I was putting up a lion. You know, she's a paladin. She's probably like some kind of no, she's definitely a follower of Christ or God. So I wanted to put like something like the Lion of Judah or something on it. So here we go, adding those pieces. I added a little bag on the right side. Then there you go. Just adding more detail as I go. I'm trying to look at the reference wherever it is. Reference is very important, guys. I mean, I'm starting to incorporate more. I kind of wanted to make this thing quick, but sometimes when you're doing armor pieces, like last time, you need reference. It's a lot. What I'm doing here is just with the free time I have between work and spending time with family and church and everything. So I'm trying to figure out how much time I have to work on these. So as I start moving towards being able to support myself through these videos, I would like to definitely start pushing more like finished art, or if I have more time, I definitely want to take them to Photoshop, clean them up, have a polished drawing and painting. And then I was getting a lot of suggestions from people, you know, oh, why don't you draw Goku or draw Naruto, or and the kids, they love them. You know, I used to love Goku a lot. I used to watch Dragon Ball Z all the time. So, you know, any ideas, feel free to put them in the comments, and I'll figure out what to do. I'm definitely going to mix in some of my characters. I mean, it's going to probably be, I'm going to try to create character after character, but I'll definitely stop time to time and try my best to draw one of those characters for you guys. I don't know, somebody was saying Fortnite. Some people are happy about that, some people get cringy, but I don't care. I'll draw it for you guys. Just tell me in what manner. And yeah, I'll definitely try to do that. And right here, I start figuring out, trying to think, well, where is she? She's fighting something. There's something that tried to hit her head, and she put her shield up. And I'm like, what if these little cool, like little demonic creatures were jumping on her and trying to take her out in the darkness? I think that'd be cool. And I remember seeing like this, I guess these guys came out like a cross, and like, this is all subconscious. They came out of a cross between the Kingdom Hearts characters and that ghost Pikachu. That, like, I've seen this Pikachu. I'm not into Pokemon as much, but this is weird little ghost creepy Pikachu character. So I'm like, this would be cool if they had that kind of like feel. But like, I didn't know what I was drawing at the time. I was kind of just going with it. And actually, to be honest, and towards the end, I started like, oh, that's what it's coming from, you know. Sometimes you draw things subconsciously and it just pops up. So here we go. You got that. Right now I'm trying to put them in space, trying to figure out what would be the coolest way for them to be coming at her. And I figured when she pulled her sword out, it's full of fire. So that's why you see that couple of little demons, like they're like terrified, like, oh my gosh. And they're terrified of that blade. Sort of like the orc blade from Lord of the Rings. It glows blue. So this is like on fire, and it just has like a +10 hit bonus, I guess, on demons. So I'll just eradicate these little +5s, which are like nothing. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Yay. So, what else can I talk about? Yeah, so back to the balance. You see that she's pretty stable with her balance. Like, it goes from the top of her head all the way down to the floor. So she's not leaning over all to the left or all to the right. You got to counter balance with her arm raised up and then her arm raised down. It has contrast. You always try to find contrast in all your drawings. Contrast just means having something opposed to another. So if you have black and then you have white next to it, that's contrast. If you have a slightly gray, think of a square which is gray, and then you just barely tweak it, like it's just tiny bit darker, and you put it next to each other, it's gonna have low contrast. It's not really on opposite sides. So that's what you always have to try to find: contrast in lighting, contrast in color, contrast in rhythm, contrast in as many things as you can find, and that makes a pleasing or an image that's very what is pleasing. It's pleasing to the eye, and this is all across the board. This is in music as well. Like music, if you have a note that's very similar to another note, it's not gonna be as grabbing as something that's like on the other end of the spectrum. So but it's not it's just a rule that you use to guide what you're trying to create. There's people who break that rule all the time, and the images look beautiful, but it has to have another rule in place of that one. You know what I mean? So it depends on your audience. You know, some people love jazz, some people hate jazz, some people love rock, some people hate rock. So it depends, you know, what you're trying to achieve. So always think about contrast. And this goes character design as well. You notice that all my characters are tiny little minions, and they're a contrast to this Paladin girl here. She is pretty like large compared to them, so that makes it funny too, and kind of like cute that you got all these little demons jumping on her. So one contrast is there's way more than there are of her, and the next contrast is they're a lot smaller. So that's very interesting to you. You know, there's a lot of things that go on in your mind when you're looking at an image. You ask questions. Your mind's instantly asking questions like, where is she? Where are these type of demons? What kind of world is she in? The underworld? Is she fighting above ground? Like I didn't put nothing from the environment because I ran out of time. I'm trying to keep these all to like 40 minutes. Like in terms of me drawing. Sorry if I didn't make that clear. Some people told me, hey, you said you're gonna draw for an hour. I do have that video. In the beginning I was gonna draw for an hour, but so many people told me, hey man, you gotta cut it down. Nobody wants to sit there for an hour. And in those videos I have a lot more. Like I said, I'm getting used to being rushed quickly through all this and explaining things. But yeah, so maybe one day I'll do the hour-long one. But from now on, I sit down for 40 minutes to an hour, and then I take whatever I do with that, and then I edit it and make it into 20 or 7 minutes, depending on what I have. So hopefully I'll keep it that way. And whatever suggestions, I'm trying to take suggestions from everybody. Thank you, people in the comments. I appreciate your suggestions, definitely. And oh, I had to go back in. I had finished the video, but I'm like, oh, this guy needs to be colored. I really appreciate the support again, and everything you guys are advising me, I'm taking into consideration. Somebody told me to speed up and slow down certain areas, so that's what I'm doing. These are sped up to I think like 600%. And the one when I was drawing the poses and talking about balance, that was set up, I think that was just normal. So I was running at 100%. So there you go. And hopefully I'll get more deep into like drawing theory and talking about rules to follow, when to break them, different things like that. So thanks again. And here's the final product. I'm gonna do a scroll down, and then I'm gonna do an image, so you guys can see the full image. So there you go. She's got her armor on, her designs. She's got the little king lion from the tribe of Judah. Okay, there you go. Boom. the final image, and I can always clean this up, but we'll get to that later. I definitely, maybe this will be one of the contestants to take it to the finished product. That'd be great. So thank you for watching this. I appreciate all my supporters. Next, I'm excited for the next one. It's gonna be fun. I already made the video. Now I'm just trying to edit it. So thank you again. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, see you guys later. Bye.